What if I told you you're not untalented? You're not behind. You're not missing some special gene that successful people were born with. You don't lack talent. You lack consistency. And that's actually good news, because talent is something you can't control. Consistency, that's in your hands. If you're a creator who hasn't posted in months, an entrepreneur who starts projects but never finishes them, or someone who secretly believes you could be great, but somehow never follows through, this video is for you. Let me ask you something. Have you ever looked at someone successful and thought, they're just naturally gifted? You see a YouTuber speaking effortlessly on camera, a business owner building company after company, an artist creating things that seem impossible. And somewhere in your mind you think, I could never do that. But here's a question most people never ask. Did they really wake up one day being that good? Or did you just arrive late to their journey? We live in a world of highlight reels. You see the polished Instagram profile, the viral video, the massive launch. You never see the awkward first attempts, the terrible early drafts, the projects that completely flopped. You're comparing your beginning to someone else's middle, and then you label it as talent. Here's what usually happens. Someone starts something, they're excited, they're motivated, they feel inspired, they post their first video, they launch their first product, they start learning a skill. The results don't come fast. Views are low, sales are zero, progress feels invisible. And then the dangerous thought appears. Maybe I'm just not talented enough. So they stop, not because they couldn't improve, not because they lacked potential, but because they lacked consistency. We romanticize talent because it protects our ego. If success is about talent, then failure isn't our fault. It's just genetics. It's just luck. It's just unfair. But if success is about consistency, then it means we had control, and that's uncomfortable. Let's be honest. How many things have you started and stopped? Gym routines, YouTube channels, business ideas, learning a language, writing a book. You weren't incapable. You were inconsistent. There's a huge difference. Talent might give someone a small head start. Consistency determines who wins the marathon. Consistency without talent compounds. Most people dramatically overestimate what talent does and massively underestimate what daily effort does. Here's the consistency principle. Small actions, repeated daily, create massive outcomes. Not dramatic bursts of effort, not emotional motivation, not waiting to feel ready, daily, boring, unsexy. Repetition. That's where growth hides. When you look at someone who's great at what they do, you're seeing accumulated consistency. Thousands of attempts, hundreds of failures, countless invisible hours. You just didn't witness them. Imagine two creators. Creator A uploads one video, spends 3 weeks obsessing over perfection, then disappears for 2 months. Creator B uploads one imperfect video every week for 2 years. Who builds skill faster? Who learns from feedback faster? Who builds an audience faster? It's not about who's more gifted. It's about who showed up. Consistency is powerful because it removes pressure. When you think everything depends on one big performance, you freeze. When you know you're coming back tomorrow, you relax. You improve faster when the stakes are lower. That's why people who publish regularly grow faster than perfectionists. They get more reps, and reps build skill. Skill builds confidence. Confidence creates momentum. Consistency doesn't mean obsession. It doesn't mean burnout. It doesn't mean grinding 18 hours a day. It means commitment. It means deciding, I am the kind of person who shows up, even when it's inconvenient, even when it's boring, even when no one is watching, especially when no one is watching, because that's where most people quit. And your brain interprets that as failure. But progress is often silent. Think about going to the gym. You don't build muscle after one workout. You don't lose weight after 1 week. But after 6 months of consistency, you look like a different person. Skills work the same way. Creativity works the same way. Business works the same way. You don't lack talent. You lack a long enough timeline. Most people quit at month 3. Winners are still there at month 36. And here's the twist. Once you've been consistent long enough, people start calling you talented. They'll say, "You're so naturally good at this," and you'll smile because you'll remember the first awkward attempts, the first bad drafts, the first uncomfortable recordings. They weren't talent, they were practice. But because most people won't last 2 years, they'll start, they'll stop, they'll restart, they'll doubt themselves. And you'll just keep showing up. That's the real advantage. And in the next part, we're going to break down real-world examples and a practical framework so you can start building consistency today. Not next Monday, not next year, today. Look at almost any successful person and you'll see a pattern. Long periods of consistent effort before recognition. Take someone like Stephen King. Before he became one of the best-selling authors in the world, he faced rejection after rejection. His first novel, Carrie, was rejected so many times, he actually threw it in the trash. His wife pulled it out and encouraged him to submit it again. What people call talent today was built on years of writing every single day, even when no one cared. Or think about Mr. Beast. Before he became one of the biggest YouTubers on the planet, he spent years uploading videos that barely got any views. Years. He studied thumbnails, titles, retention. He obsessed over getting better. Not viral, better. The version of him you see now is the result of thousands of uploads, experiments, and iterations. Here's the key. They didn't succeed because they felt confident. They succeeded because they stayed consistent long enough for improvement to compound. And it's not just celebrities. Think about someone who gets in incredible shape. You don't see the 6 a.m. workouts. You don't see the meals they skipped. You don't see the days they didn't feel like training but went anyway. You see the result. Consistency hides behind every impressive outcome. Now let's bring this closer to you. Imagine you want to start a YouTube channel, or build a business, or learn design, or get fit. What usually happens? Week 1, you're excited. Week 2, still motivated. Week 3, life gets busy. Week 4, you miss a day. Week 5, you feel guilty. Week 6, you tell yourself maybe it's not for you. Not because you're incapable, because you broke consistency. And you interpreted that as proof you lack talent. But consistency isn't about perfection. It's about identity. It's about deciding, this is who I am now. You don't try to work out. You are someone who trains. You don't try to create. You are someone who publishes. When you attach consistency to identity, everything changes. So how do you actually build it? Let's make this practical. First, shrink the goal. Most people fail because they start too big. They say, I'm going to upload 3 videos a week. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. every day. I'm going to work out for an hour daily. That's motivation talking. Consistency is built on sustainability. Instead of asking, what's impressive? Ask, what can I repeat even on my worst day? 1 video a week, 10 minutes of writing, 20 push-ups, 30 minutes of focused work. Small enough that excuses feel ridiculous. Second, remove friction. If you want to work out, prepare your clothes the night before. If you want to write, open the document before bed. If you want to create content, simplify your setup. Friction kills consistency. The easier it is to start, the more likely you are to continue. Third, track streaks, not results. Results are slow. Streaks are immediate. Don't obsess over views. Track how many weeks you showed up. Don't obsess over revenue. Track how many days you executed. Consistency is a game of streak protection. When you see day 17 on a calendar, you won't want to break it. Fourth, detach from early outcomes. Your first 50 attempts will probably be average, maybe even bad. That's normal. The goal of the first phase isn't to be amazing. It's to become durable. Most people are fragile. One bad comment, they stop. One slow month, they quit. Durability wins. Fifth, set a non-negotiable minimum. This is powerful. Decide the smallest version of your habit that must happen no matter what. Too tired to film a full video? Write ideas for 10 minutes. Too busy for a full workout? Do 10 push-ups. Too exhausted to build your business? Improve one tiny thing. The rule is simple. Never zero. Zero is dangerous. Zero breaks identity. Even one small action keeps momentum alive. Now here's something most people don't realize. Consistency builds confidence, not the other way around. People say, I'll start when I feel confident, but confidence is evidence-based. When you've shown up 100 times, your brain has proof. You stop doubting yourself because you've built a track record. That's how self-belief is created. Not through affirmations, through repetition. And let's address something important. There will be days when you fall off. You'll miss a workout. You'll skip a post. You'll procrastinate. That doesn't mean you're back at zero. It means you're human. The difference between successful and unsuccessful people isn't that one never fails. It's that one restarts faster. If you miss one day, don't miss two. Protect the comeback. Because long-term consistency isn't about being perfect. It's about reducing the gap between falling and restarting. Now imagine this. What would your life look like if you were consistent for the next 365 days? Not perfect, not extreme, just consistent. 1 year of weekly videos. 1 year of daily workouts. 1 year of building your skill. Do you really believe you'd be the same person? Of course not. You'd be sharper, stronger, more skilled, more confident. Not because of talent, because of repetition. Most people underestimate how much can change in a year and overestimate how much can change in a week. That's why they quit early. So here's the shift I want you to make. Stop asking, am I talented enough? Start asking, can I commit long enough? Talent is overrated. Consistency is undefeated. If you've been doubting yourself, let this be your wake-up call. You don't need a new personality. You don't need more motivation. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment. You need a decision. A quiet, serious decision. I will show up, even when it's boring, even when it's slow, even when nobody claps. Because one day, they will. And when they do, they'll call you talented. But you'll know the truth. It was consistency. If this message resonated with you, don't just feel inspired. Act. Right after this video ends, choose one thing, one skill, one project, one habit. Define the smallest version of it you can commit to daily or weekly. Write it down. Start today, and in the comments, tell me what you're committing to. Make it public. Make it real. If you want more videos like this, practical, honest, no excuses growth, subscribe to the channel. Your future self isn't waiting for more talent. Your future self is waiting for your consistency.